Welcome to beautiful Southern California. We're here at the Hands-On Knitting Center in Redlands, California, where the store is owned by not one, not two, not three, but 11 partners. You're gonna love the community that's inside. Let's go.
I'm Diane. I am the managing partner of Hands-On Knitting Center. We are in Redlands, California. We are a co-op. There's 11 partners, so we do a little bit of everything. We are in Southern California, so one of the big deals is we have two seasons. We have hot and we have warm. There is no in between. We get like 1 or 2 days where it's cold enough to wear wool. So we do a lot of plant-based fibers, and we have hempathy, which is linen and cotton, or hemp and cotton, sorry. And it's one of our newer yarns. We have Clea, Annie, and Charm, which are from a company called Circulo. They're from Brazil. Here's the cool thing about them. They are our family company. They've been around for 90 plus years. I can't say the name of the village they're from, but they have a river that runs through it. Their dyeing process is such that they actually have a water treatment plant where they dye. So the water that comes out of the river, they use repeatedly, and then they filter it. When it goes back into the river, it's cleaner than when it came out, which we think is really cool. Because one of the things that we really push is ecologically consciousness in terms of how the yarn is processed. I have learned a lot about how yarn is processed, how sheep are raised, how cotton is raised. It's really amazing. It's kind of frightening, actually. There's so much information out there. But Clea, Anne, and Charm are all the same cotton. It's a special cotton to Brazil. And it is one of the softest cottons, because a lot of you, if you've ever used cotton, you know that this stuff can be like kind of scratchy and kind of stiff. This is really soft. They're all mercerized, but they absorb water. A lot of people don't like using mercerized cotton because it keeps the cotton from absorbing water as much, like on a towel. So that's one of the great things about it. They are also, and there's colors that, there's every color known to man. I will tell you quite honestly that I have woven out of this, and when I washed it, the water was totally clear. It is 100% color fast. And I know I keep talking about it, but this yarn is really cool. So we also have a yarn from Queensland, which is called Myrtle. It is called vegan silk. And I had to put my head around that for a while because I didn't realize that silk was not vegan, but it isn't. This is vegan silk. It's made from eucalyptus, and it is soft. It is drapey, and it's made out of eucalyptus, so it's also really good for our climate because we need things that breathe. We have several cottons that are in a tape form, which looks really weird when you first look at it, but it breathes a lot and it has a coating on it that helps wick moisture. So if you live in someplace really warm, that's one of those things that really gets to everybody. Bamboo Pop is a bamboo and cotton. One of the things that people don't realize with plant-based fiber is, as opposed to like wool, when you do your little 4-inch swatch, because we all swatch, right? Yeah, sure. We're not going there. When you swatch with wool, you block it and then you measure your gauge. When you're using plant-based, I've learned this from experience. You knit it, you measure it, you wash it. When it's dry, you hang it up and then put a little weight on the bottom and just let it hang for a couple of days. And what that does is that tells you how much it's going to grow. because this stuff does grow, but it's wonderful. We also have a bunch of different cottons. This is a knurl cotton. It is silk and cotton. We have Sammy, which is part of the Amano line. It is 100% Pima cotton. And it is organic. It is soft. It is just luscious. Unique cotton we have. This is kind of weird. This is sugarcane, and it's by Circulo. It is made out of what's left over after they squeeze the sugarcane to make sugar, which is kind of weird because what I've read is that process, the what's left over, is not exactly environmentally friendly. But when you make it into something like this, it becomes much more friendly. So there's that. We have other cottons. The other yarn that we have is Manos de Uruguay. And if you are not familiar with Manos de Uruguay, it was a company that was started by 5 friends. And they developed it to allow people to earn a living wage without leaving home. It is now all over villages in Uruguay. We love it because it helps support women. And it's just a wonderful yarn. So we'll squeeze through here. We have a lot of yarn right now. But all of this is Manos. We also, even though this is a wool product, it's light enough. We carry fingering weight, we carry lace weight. And we like mixing all sorts of fibers with mohair. And I know a lot of people go, ugh, mohair. Don't really like mohair, it's scratchy. We have an enormous amount of mohair. Mohair is a great yarn to add with other yarns if you want to make something that has a little bit, requires bigger yarn.
Hi, my name is Gretchen, and I'm the second newest partner here at HOKC, and also known as Yarn Enabler. And one of the things that we love to feature here at HOKC is local yarn dyers. And so the first one that we have is Allie B, and she is local to us. She does worsted weight, which is kind of unusual for hand dyers. So we love having that option. And she actually is the daughter of Nancy Bates. And so it kind of was a really natural progression that happened. Nancy does a lot of design work for beanies. You might know, we'll talk about her later. And she didn't have colors that she needed for her national park hats. So her daughter started creating them, and then she created her own business out of that. So we love carrying Allie B. And then another one of our favorites is Alexandra. She is not nearly as local. She's in Oregon, but she has been a hand dyer for many years, actually decades, I believe. And she's a local favorite of ours. She does trunk shows here at least once, but usually twice a year. And I mean, the place just is packed because her bases are so plush. Seal Rock is like her probably most popular. She does intentional pooling. She just has like amazing tonals, and yeah, she just has great things that we all love. And then probably our most local is Peekaboo. That's Amy, and she lives like 35 minutes away. And so she just like, we can call her and say, we need more of this. And so that is Peekaboo, and that's in fingering. Alexandra does DK and fingering. And I think actually Peekaboo does too. So those are our local yarn dyers. And then Nancy Bates is also local to us, so we feel very fortunate for that. She comes in and does book signings for us and stuff with the National Park hat book that she put out. And so what we did is we decided to do an annual knit along to support her, and it's been super successful. So what we do is we do one beanie a month. And so these are a couple that are coming up, and we make kits. And so you don't have to get the kit from us, obviously, but it's really nice because then you don't have to buy, 6 whole skeins. You can just get these. And one of the things that we do here at Hands on Knitting is we do a lot of Zooms. And so the National Park Beanies Knit Along is a Zoom. It is once a month on Zoom for an hour. And so no matter where you are, you can participate in that. And so we love doing that. And she is coming out with her new book. Actually, it's already out. And so it's Knitting California. And I think that we're going to do the same thing. This was so successful that I think that we're going to do the same thing next year, but just with her new book. So if that's something that you're interested in January, that'll probably be starting here.
Hi, my name is Roxanne. I'm one of the owners, and I just kind of do it, not as much as everyone else does. I help a lot of customers. I help customers pick colors, patterns, put colors together, problems with knitting situations that they have.
So is this your spot right here at the table?
I kind of, when we kind of just get accustomed to a spot, right? So this is my spot for whatever reason, the head of the table, it just kind of stuck. And so I have a good view of customers as they come in. And I don't know if anyone has, I'm going to tell my age a little bit, but that show Cheers. It's like Cheers. People walk in. We have regular customers. We have and so when they walk in, we're like, hey, whomever. And then sometimes when new people come in, they're just kind of, because everyone's like, hey, and they're like, they don't know how to take it, right? But they love it after they've walked around for a little while, and they're really happy that they came in, and they say, that there's a really good environment, and we have a big table, and we all walks. We've had brain surgeons. I myself was a school bus driver, recently retired. So there are many conversations. You learn a lot of things apart from knitting. And it's just fun. People bring snacks. We have a little kitchenette. People bring lunch. Some people come in on a lunch break and then just for a little bit and take off. Some people will be here all day. And it's especially on Wednesday nights when we have our knit night, which is, that's our late night. We stay open till 8 o'clock, and the table's open until 8 o'clock. And people come, and the table is free of charge. We don't charge to come and sit. We don't charge for help. We don't charge to help you pick the right yarn for the right pattern. It's just a sense, we just want people to feel comfortable, to learn, and feel confident to make a garment that they're going to love, right? And so Zoom, Knit Night is also on Zoom, so you can log on, go on our calendar and log on to Knit Night. And we love it. We just have fun. And again, it's just, I feel like people love coming here, and that's the environment we want to have in here. My sweater, I saw this yarn and I was like, you know when you see something, you have to have it, or that's how I work. So this is Barocco's, thank you, Diane. This is Barocco's Dash. And it is the pattern is Tin Can Knits Flax. I love that pattern. I when someone wants to make a sweater, this is the first thing I think of because it's a simple pattern. So I don't want people to be overwhelmed, right, by so many different directions. Or anyways, it's a simple pattern. So I just used the flax. I modified it a little bit, and I just knit the pattern. And when I got to the color, I just did short rows. So just basic, knit in the round, raglan knit in the round. Most of us already know what the flax is, and that's all I did. Again, I modified the ribbing and the sleeve pattern, but that's what this is.
Hi, my name is Rikki. I'm one of the newer partners here at Hands On Knitting Center. I am the local sock tube crank person, and also one of the yarn enablers, obviously. I help at the table. I help everywhere. It doesn't matter. People come in constantly and they're like, oh, can you help me with this? Sure, I can help you with that. Can you help me count? Oh, so-and-so can help you count. So I just do a little bit of everything, kind of like all of the partners. I also do the some of the Instagram and the Facebook for the shop. So this is the Sophie scarf. The ladies around here were knitting them, and I just saw somebody wearing it, and I thought, oh, that's so cute. And it's quick because I like quick knits. So I went home and I dug through my stash, and I had some actual yarn that I bought from a secondhand store. It was just in a little Ziploc bag, and it was such a small amount, 40 grams, and also mohair. And so this is my first time knitting with mohair. I actually did this, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, and knitted up in 24 hours, and I was so excited, and I wear it every day.
So cute.
So one thing here, if you buy sock yarn and say you want to make socks, or you have a lot of socks to make for Christmas, what we offer is hand crank tubes, which are these here. So I crank these. This is made of what is this? Unique sock. And what you do is you put a afterthought heel, afterthought toe, and an afterthought cuff. This can get you either 2 pairs of long socks or 4 pairs of shorties, even wristlets, fingerless mitts. So what you can do is when you purchase sock yarn on our website, there's an option where you can ask it to be cranked into a tube. So I do that. And right now we actually have some kits where we have a tube, and then we have the yarn for your afterthought heels and toes and cuffs. And then we also have these special, what are these called?
Stitch markers.
I know that. Okay, stitch markers. And these are made by a local lady named Linda, and she uses crystals and cute little things on here. And this is made for sock knitting. And they actually have an H for your heel and a T for your toe, just to help you figure out where you are when you're working on your tubes. Molly offers a class on Zoom on how to do your afterthought socks, heels, toes, and cuff.
These are upcycled bowls. They're from a gentleman named Dean Hood. He retired and wanted something to do, and his wife, who was a knitter, was complaining because her yarn bowl spiral was really rough and it would snag her yarn. So he looked at it and he goes, I can do this. So he got a bowl and he cleaned it up. This one was black when he bought it. He goes to yard sales and finds these things, and he stripped all of the paint off and refinished it, and then he put the little swirl in. The swirl is always tested by his wife. She tests every single swirl to make sure it's smooth. I love these just because there's so much, you can get so much history from these. We had one that was gorgeous. I wanted it. I didn't buy it. Somebody else bought it. But on the bottom, it had somebody's name, and it had the year, and it was obviously done in a wood shop. And it was just like, oh, you got rid of it. Why? So he does these, and he'll find things like this one. I don't think you can see it. It says cookies. And it has a lid. My idea is you get this for your yarn, you put cookies in this, you put it on your couch, you're set. Right? That's my thought. And then he found these. So I have a cat. His name's Louie. He's the spawn of Satan for a reason. He's always getting after my yarn. So I was complaining to Dean about it, and he says, oh, I've got just a thing. Bread box. So you open it up, you put your yarn in there, and then it's got the little swirl on the side. So yeah, so I brought one home. I put my yarn in it, and I'm knitting. The cat starts sitting here, looking down. And the next thing I know, he's got his paw right there on the yarn. So yeah, it did work, kinda. So he has all these beautiful bowls. He's got pedestal bowls. And it's funny because if you look at some of them, like the bottom of this one, you can tell was one of those trays for hors d'oeuvres and stuff. And then there's this one over here that if you turned it upside down, you could actually hold your wine glasses on.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
And then we have a lady, Amy, who does peekaboo yarns. Her mother does these bags. And these are just the most wonderful bags because they're nice and deep. They come in different sizes, and they sit flat. And then you can carry them around. And the nice thing to me is you can put them over your arm, and you can knit and walk around. So this is great. So she has those bags. And then one of our other customers makes these beautiful waxed canvas bags. They're really gorgeous. They have a pocket in the front with a snap. And then she has them, take this out, she's got them lined inside and they've got pockets inside. They're just beautiful bags. So we have all these different bags from people. So yeah. So these are just a couple of our local folks. And we consider Dean local even though he's in Arizona. This is a Ruana that I wove. It uses, Peekaboo, Chin Chin, and Alexandra the Art of Yarn Black Butte, which is my favorite yarn. It's Desert Island yarn, right? It's my favorite. And I did it on a 16-inch loom. And when I first started weaving, I thought, okay, I want to make clothes, but I don't want to get a great big loom. And then Deborah Jarko, who is the most extraordinary weaving teacher, said, you know, Diane, you don't have to use a big loom. Use a 10-inch loom and just sew the panels together. Oh! And then I went on a trip to Japan and realized those elaborate kimonos are made out of 14-inch wide material. If you can make a kimono out of 14-inch wide material, I can make anything out of 16-inch material. So anyway, this was my Ruana from my class with Deborah, and I love it.
So pretty.
We all love it. When she's not here.
Yeah,
other
everybody
people
else
wear
has it on. It has.
You leave it here?
I leave it here, and everybody else can wear it. This is the beauty of having a yarn shop. We have all these samples, and we keep it cold on purpose. Well, first of all, there's 11 of us, and most of us are of a certain age. So we are either really hot or really cold. And the big joke is, if you want to know where the coldest place is in the shop, look for Diane, because I'm the furnace. And so we just tell people, look, you're cold, go get a sweater, put it on. And we've actually had customers call and say, I'm at home and I wore your sweater home. I'll bring it back tomorrow. He's like, okay, just bring it back.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Luckily, knitters are honest
They're
people.
very honest people.
That's good.
Although we have had people that, actually mostly partners who have said, that, I don't know where it went to. So originally the store was owned by a couple of women, and there were 2 or 3 competing stores in the area. They decided they wanted to bring a third person in, so Molly, who is still one of our partners, came on board, and then things happened, as they do sometimes, and there was a kind of a split. They moved to a different place. This is actually the second incarnation of Hands-On Knitting Center, but the 4th from the beginning. So we were in a little shop in the back that was half this size, and there were 3 of them, and they decided, it makes more sense to have more partners come in and not have employees. This being California, it made more sense. So gradually over the years, we've gotten more partners. We're at 11 right now. We don't have any employees, so if we're working the floor, we're an owner. Molly has moved to Oregon, but she's still a really important part of the company. And everybody just kind of pitches in and does what needs to get done.
So I think it's kind of amazing that it works. We have people all the time go, how do 11 women work together?
And how do you stay alive?
And the answer is amazingly well most of the time. And what we do is, I feel like we're so lucky or blessed in that every week we just send in our availabilities to the partner who does the scheduling. And when we sign on as a partner, we do commit to doing a minimum of 2 shifts a week. And those are like 4 or 5 hours. So, not onerous at all. And so we put in our availabilities, and then every week the schedule gets made, and we cover each other. There's enough of us that we can cover each other when people want to take some time off and stuff. And because there's 11 owners and we all, have a stake in it, there are, everybody has different strengths and abilities. So we have people that are fantastic at organizing and doing inventory and that kind of thing. And then we have some people that are just, pure creatives and can, put colors together and combinations that nobody else would ever think of. And so it's just really a unique opportunity for, like as a co-op situation.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is that when we take inviting a new partner in very seriously, and so when we do have a new partner, I'm the second, most recent partner, but when we do, everybody has to be comfortable with having that new partner in. So I was biting my nails when the vote came up for
Not
me.
even a question.
Yay, I passed. But yeah, so just coming in, everybody wants you, everybody's excited for you to become a partner, and that creates a great atmosphere.
And we're really lucky because people have come in, like Gretchen has a really great social media presence, as does Rikki. Roxy does a lot of, she keeps track of trends. I don't. I'm not very good at that. I never have been. So, everybody has a strength and they play with it. They play off of it. And it's great because somebody will say, oh, let's do this. And it's like, and then somebody will say, that's a great idea. Or, really, that's a bad idea. But everybody is coming at it from a different angle. So the picture always comes out right.
Yeah, and we have people, like Diane weaves, I don't weave, but we have enough people that do, crochet,
different things. She
weaving.
crochets.
Yeah. So, if you have one owner, it's hard to be that well-rounded.
Yeah.
So, for us, that's another real benefit of being a co-op.
It is.
Mm-hmm. When COVID happened, like we were really a local yarn store. And then when COVID happened, everybody was kind of scrambling and going, what do we do, right? The world. but specifically HOKC, which is what we normally call hands-on knitting, was looking, and we have so many creative people, and really flipped. I wasn't a partner then, but really flipped quickly to doing a lot of online. We did a lot of Zoom, and we found community all over the country. People were looking, and we were here. And even after all of that kind of rolled back and things got back to normal, we had built such a community that we couldn't stop. So we haven't stopped.
Yeah.
So we have a knit night on Zoom every Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30. And we have a great group of regulars, but we always also love when new people come, and we want to see your projects and all of that. We also have a online presence as far as buying. So, like if you see something that you like, you can always go onto our website and you can buy it there. And if you can't find it, then just give us a call, because we love to meet new people, whether it be online, on the phone, or in person. We have a newsletter that comes out every Wednesday. And so a lot of people, across the country get our newsletter, and then they'll see, oh, we're doing a make-along and it's on Zoom, or, oh, we're doing, whatever, a class. We do lots of classes on Zoom. And so, you can participate, if you live in an area that's kind of a store desert, we always welcome you to be a part of our community.
And we also have Thursday lunch chat. So Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Daylight Savings Time, 12 to 1. If you go to our website, go to calendar, and you could scroll down to the date, and you can get the link. And what we do is we interview people. We've had Jody Long on. Deborah Jarko has come and talked to us. So we have all these different designers. We just had James Cox, who is an interesting guy. I mean, he lives in Palm Springs 3 months during the hurricane season, and the rest of the time he lives in
the Caribbean somewhere.
In the Caribbean somewhere. Yeah. But he's this amazing designer. He's been designing for 45 years. Yeah. He's got some of the coolest designs ever. And he was a delight to talk to. Nancy Bates, who does the National Parks hats, who, by the way, is coming out with her new book on the 3rd, which we're excited about. And so she was a delight, and she's local, so we like to support our local folks. But then also for people that have been to Stitches anywhere, we had one in Southern California. I know they're in the East as well. They've closed, and so Nancy and some of her partners got together and said, well, let's do a fiber fair in Southern California. So it's going to be in Pomona at the Fairplex, November 18 and 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're in town.
Or in Southern California.
Yeah, because it's really pretty close.
Yeah.
We are really lucky because we're in Redlands, and we're like halfway between Los Angeles and Palm Springs. And, yarn shops, it's a hard business because you don't want to compete with the big box stores, but you don't want to compete with each other. And we do have one yarn store that just opened up in Riverside this last year, and he carries yarns, we carry yarn. We don't carry the same yarns, so it's kind of helpful. So if somebody comes in and is looking for a yarn, we'll say, don't have it, let's check and see if Illy has it, and if he does, that's where you go get your yarn.
I guess the ending thing that I would like to share is that all 11 of us were passionate about yarn and doing things with yarn. And we want to share that passion with you and with anybody that wants to. And whether that be you coming in person and you sitting at our table is always open, and we always like to help. There's never any charge or anything like that. Or we even have Zoom help. once a week. So you can sign up for that. That's free. And, you know, if you get stuck in a project, we don't want you to be stuck. We want you to have fun. So that's just, would say the overriding passion and desire of HOKC is just to
Definitely.
have people share our passion and grow in their whatever it is that they love to do, knitting, crocheting, or learning new things.
Definitely.
We have a thing called Yarno. So this is one thing that we do. It's called Yarno. And so we start it at the beginning of every year. And what it is it's designed for a couple of things. It's designed to expand your skills and push you past your comfort zone a little bit.
And use your stash.
And use your stash, absolutely. And then the incentive that we give you is, like, if you get a whole row, you get a 20% coupon, 20% off coupon. Actually, a whole row without the middle one is 25, and then the middle one is 20. And this isn't just for in person. You can do it if you are not local. And then we have a Ravelry thread in our hands-on knitting group called Yarno. And you just post a picture of what you did. So, like, let's say if you worked with mohair, then you would just post your mohair project, and then you get a little stamp. Or, people get super creative and color them in and, do all kinds of things. Yeah.
So just so you know, some of the things that we did this year, we did sweater, we did mohair, we did charity and toy, and then we did feet and neck and head and hands. Now, I'm not going to name names, but somebody brought a sweater in and said to one of the partners, "Can I count this as hands because it has pockets?" And she, okay, we'll go for it. So we'll kind of fudge a little bit.
Well, it depends on the partner.
It does depend on the partner. But things like holiday and I-cord and the dreaded brioche, and for most people, the spin.
Or intarsia.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intarsia's on there.
But the complaints I hear about most are spin and brioche and weave.
So Diane brought up this year. So every year is a new Yarno, and there are new things on there.
Yes.
So yeah. And some people do black it out. Yeah.
Oh,
and we have a huge prize at the end of the year that anybody that has done all of them is eligible to enter.